Your lungs are burning, your clothes are soaked, and somewhere behind you, a man is shouting. You don't turn around because you already know what you'll see. North Korean border guards, flashlights cutting through the dark, rifles pointed toward the river, dogs barking somewhere behind them. Right now, you're standing in freezing water that separates North Korea from China. It's only about 20 meters wide, but tonight, it might be the most dangerous 20 meters on Earth. Because if those guards catch you, you don't just go to prison. Your parents disappear. Your siblings disappear. Even relatives you've never met can be punished. 3 generations erased. That's the law in North Korea. And you knew that when you made the decision to run. The water reaches your waist. Your legs are starting to go numb. Halfway across the river, a spotlight suddenly snaps on behind you. For a moment, the entire river turns white. Your heart stops. Did they see you? Did someone betray you? Or did you just make the biggest mistake of your life? You force yourself to keep moving, step by step, through water that feels like ice. Because if you stop now, there's only one place you're going, a prison camp where people vanish forever. But here's the strange thing. Just 2 months ago, you weren't planning to escape at all. You were living a normal life, working, following orders, trying not to attract attention, just like everyone else, until one small rumor changed everything. A rumor about a man who helps people cross the border. And in North Korea, even asking about that rumor can get you killed. But by the time you heard it, it was already too late. Because once the idea of escape enters your mind, it never really leaves. So how does someone actually escape one of the most controlled countries on Earth? How do you reach a guarded border, cross an icy river, and disappear before the authorities find you? To understand that, we need to go back to the beginning. Day 1. Morning in North Korea begins the same way it always does. Before the sun even rises, the loudspeakers start playing. Patriotic songs echo between the gray apartment buildings. The same songs you've heard thousands of times. The same voices praising the same leaders. The city slowly wakes up beneath them. Workers step into the streets. Bicycles roll past cracked sidewalks. Mothers pull children toward school gates. Everything looks normal, and for most people, it is. But today something is different, because last night you made a decision that changes everything. You decided to escape North Korea. The thought still feels unreal, even dangerous. Here, people don't talk about escaping. They don't whisper about it. They barely even think about it. The government has spent generations making sure of that. But now the idea is inside your head, and once it's there, it refuses to leave. You dress the same way you always do. Plain clothes, nothing noticeable. You eat breakfast quickly, forcing yourself to move slowly enough that no one in the apartment notices anything unusual. Because the first rule of escaping North Korea is simple. You cannot look like someone who wants to escape. You leave the building and step into the street. Same route to work, same pace, same blank expression everyone else wears. But your eyes are different now. You're paying attention. Every loudspeaker mounted to the poles, every patrol vehicle moving through the district, every neighborhood watch member sitting outside their building pretending not to watch anyone. Most people ignore these things. They've learned not to notice. But now you see them everywhere, because eventually, you'll have to avoid them. At work, the day drags slowly. Machines run, supervisors shout instructions, hours pass exactly the way they always do. But your mind is somewhere else. You keep thinking about the border, somewhere beyond the mountains, beyond the countryside, beyond the patrols. There's another country, China. A place where the loudspeakers don't control the morning. A place where people disappear into cities instead of prison camps. A place where escape might actually mean freedom. The idea feels impossible, but staying here forever feels worse. So, that night, your real work begins. You start watching. Day 12. Planning an escape here doesn't start with writing anything down. Paper can be discovered. Maps can be discovered. Even whispering the wrong thing to the wrong person can destroy everything. So, your planning happens silently. Inside your head, you begin paying attention to routines. Which roads empty first at night? Which ones stay busy longer? What time patrol trucks drive through your district? How often soldiers appear near intersections? After work, you start taking longer walks. Not suspiciously long, just enough to slowly push farther than your normal routine. At first, you stay close to the town. Then gradually you explore the outskirts. You notice the streetlights begin to disappear as buildings become smaller. Concrete roads slowly turn into dirt paths. The sound of traffic fades away. The countryside stretches farther than you expected. Mountains rise along the horizon like a wall separating you from the rest of the world. Somewhere beyond them is the border. But the border isn't just a line. It's soldiers, searchlights, patrol vehicles, people who get paid to make sure no one leaves. You walk carefully through these outer areas, watching everything, where dogs start barking when strangers pass, where farmhouses sit close enough to see the road, where the darkness becomes thick enough to hide someone walking alone. Every detail matters, because eventually, this won't just be a walk, it will be an escape. Day 30. Tonight you travel farther than before. A narrow road leads away from town and cuts through open farmland. The sky is already dark when you reach it. Fields stretch endlessly on both sides. Wind moves through tall grass, making the entire landscape whisper quietly in the night. For the first time since this plan started, the town disappears behind you. No loudspeakers, no crowded streets, just silence. You keep walking, trying to imagine what it would feel like to keep going forever, to never turn around, to simply disappear into the darkness beyond these fields. Then suddenly, a light appears behind you. Headlights. Your body freezes for a second before you force yourself to keep moving. You glance back. A truck. Military. Your heartbeat instantly speeds up. Running would make things worse. Running means guilt. So you walk normally, slow, calm, controlled. The engine gets louder as the truck approaches. The headlights stretch your shadow across the road. For a moment, the entire world feels silent, except for the sound of that engine behind you. The truck slows. Your stomach drops. If they stop, if they ask where you're going, there is no explanation that will save you. The vehicle rolls forward beside you. For a few seconds, it crawls at the same pace as your footsteps. Then the engine revs again. The truck drives past. The lights shrink in the distance. You keep walking until they disappear completely. Only then do you finally breathe again. Because now you understand something clearly. This isn't a fantasy anymore. It's real, and real plans can fail. Day 51. Weeks pass, your movements become more precise, more careful. You travel deeper into the countryside now, sometimes by bicycle, sometimes on foot. Small farming villages appear occasionally between fields and hills. Clusters of houses where people spend most of their days working outside. Strangers are noticed here, but people are also busy, which means if you move naturally enough, no one stops you. You begin seeing more soldiers the closer you move toward the border. Some stand near bridges, others guard small checkpoints along narrow roads. Military trucks appear more frequently now. Every time you see one, you look away. Because now you're moving through places where escape has happened before. You overhear fragments of conversations sometimes. A farmer mentioning patrols increased last winter. Someone quietly saying a man from another village disappeared one night. No one explains what happened after that. They don't need to. Everyone understands. Most escape attempts end the same way. Day 71. You know you're close now. The air feels different here. Soldiers move through the region more often. At night, you sometimes see faint beams of light scanning distant hills. Searchlights. Looking for people exactly like you. That night, you return home for the final time. Your room looks exactly the same as it always has. Small bed, plain walls. The same window looking out over the same gray buildings. Nothing about this place suggests it might be the last time you see it. You sit quietly for a long time, listening to the distant hum of the city. There is no dramatic preparation, no large bag, no supplies. You lie down and close your eyes. But sleep never arrives. Every small sound feels louder than usual. Footsteps somewhere in the hallway. Wind pushing against the window. Hours pass. Eventually the loudspeakers fall silent. The city sinks into darkness. You sit up. It's time. Day 72. You leave after midnight. The streets are nearly empty. Clouds cover the moon, turning the entire landscape dark. You follow the route you memorized weeks ago, past silent buildings, past quiet farm roads. past fields that stretch endlessly into the darkness. Every few minutes you stop and listen. Nothing. No engines, no voices, just wind moving through trees. The journey feels longer tonight. Every shadow looks like someone watching. Every distant noise makes your heart jump. Then finally, you hear it. Water. A quiet rushing sound moving somewhere ahead. You walk toward it slowly, careful with every step. And then you see it. The river. In daylight it would look small, but tonight it feels enormous because this narrow strip of water separates two completely different worlds. On one side, everything you've ever known. On the other, a life you can barely imagine. You step into the river, the cold hits instantly. Your legs tense as the current pushes against you. Each step feels loud. Halfway across, the water rises higher. Your breathing becomes faster. If a flashlight appears now, there's nowhere to hide. You keep moving, one step, then another. The opposite bank slowly grows closer. Finally, your foot touches mud, then grass, then solid ground. You climb up the riverbank and turn around. The mountains look the same. The river looks the same. The sky looks the same. But everything has changed because the ground beneath your feet is no longer North Korea. The night remains silent. No alarms, no voices, just the wind moving across the dark hills. For the first time in 72 days, you allow yourself to breathe. For now, you are free, and for now, you are safe.